Welcome to the NTN Nightly. I'm Lucia Charles. This edition's top stories. The island's Minister for Tourism says a $20 million subsidy request from Virgin Atlantic was not in the best interest of St. Lucia. The agriculture sector to benefit from St. Lucia's first adaptation project. Sidema provides the toolkit for safer schools. All that plus the latest in youth development, sports, and the NTN Nouvelle Arcoyon. St. Lucia's Minister for Tourism, Information, Broadcasting, Creative Industries and Culture says regrettably the government has accepted the decision by British carrier Virgin Atlantic Airways to cease operations to St. Lucia. Honorable Dominic Fede revealed that government has been in dialogue with Virgin Atlantic Airways over the past few months with the view of sustaining the existing flight service from London Gatwick to Heronara International Airport. However, Virgin Atlantic was adamant that 20 million EC dollars or $7.5 million US dollars would be required to maintain 5 weekly flights in the winter months and 3 weekly flights in the summer months.
It is our strong belief that agreeing to Virgin Atlantic's demands for a multi-million-dollar subsidy would have opened the doors for other carriers to also request similar subsidies from us. In fact, upon hearing the news that Virgin Atlantic had requested subsidies from 4 Caribbean governments, namely St. Lucia, Antigua, Tobago, and Grenada, at least one other carrier from the UK market approached us for similar discussions. While the government of St. Lucia appreciates the need for governments from time to time to share the financial risk on new flights until the maturing of a respective route, Virgin's request goes against our principle, having been operating in St. Lucia for 21 years. St. Lucia presently supports Virgin Atlantic flights with marketing agreements annually, but presently has no subsidy arrangements with any airline in order or in any other tourism market.
Virgin Atlantic represents 7% of total global arrivals into St. Lucia. In the marketplace, St. Lucia remains a destination of choice for British travelers. As such, government has opened dialogue with at least one other carrier to fill that void.
Year to date, May 2019, St. Lucia has recorded an 18% growth from the UK market over the same period last year. We anticipate even further growth in our restructured marketing thrust to maximize more of our marketing spend on brand St. Lucia. From all indications, the demand for St. Lucia in the UK market is very strong and remains among the leading Caribbean destinations in the UK. In fact, the numbers suggest that from the English-speaking Caribbean, St. Lucia is second only to Barbados in tourist arrivals from the UK.
Honorable Dominic Fede indicated that government will continue to engage Virgin Atlantic to arrive at a mutually beneficial relationship in the future. The government of St. Lucia has made a significant stride in efforts towards a more resilient nation in the face of climate change. St. Lucia has been approved for implementation of an agriculture project from the Adaptation Fund. As the designated national authority to the Adaptation Fund, the Department of Sustainable Development in 2014 began efforts at improving resilience at a country level. With the help of the Caribbean Development Bank, the Department of Sustainable Development agreed upon a project proposal targeted at the agriculture sector. Following consultations, the CDB approved St. Lucia to develop a project addressing climate change impacts within the sector. The Chief Sustainable Development and Environment Officer in the Department of Sustainable Development says some $9.8 million US dollars was approved through the Adaptation Fund for the project.
It comprises various components, including St. Lucia being able to address the agriculture sector with regards to enhancing our climate resilience. It will focus on addressing issues as it pertains to water water supplies for our farmers. It will also, and very importantly, address our knowledge management and our capacity building.
The project is being implemented through a project management unit at the Ministry of Agriculture and will be supported by the Department of Sustainable Development. Chief Extension Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, Kemuel Jean-Baptiste, says the project will help farmers build resilience to adopt and adapt various technological advances in the agriculture sector.
We're talking about irrigation, talking about water storage, rainwater harvesting. Very importantly, we're looking at the involvement of our youth in agriculture. We still are challenged with youth getting access to the basic production requirements for agriculture, access to land in particular, access to resources to get the technologies that are required. Through this project, we are seeking to get a greater involvement of our youth. And as would have been mentioned by my colleague earlier, there is constant change in terms of the practices and the knowledge that is required for our farmers to remain competitive and for them to sustain comparative advantage in the production of food, particularly food for export.
Minister for Education, Innovation, Gender Relations and Sustainable Development, Honorable Dr. Gail Rigobert, believes this signals a turning point in St. Lucia's efforts at building resilience as a response to the impacts of climate change.
There is little doubt in our minds that agriculture is one of the sectors most adversely affected by the impact of climate change. And that is why that sector has been flagged as one of those most in need of a significant injection of resources to help build resilience. Climate change is not equivalent to the passage of a devastating storm or hurricane or flash flood. Climate change and its impacts are felt every day, especially as it pertains to issues of sustainable livelihood, well-being, sectoral survival, especially in our case, tourism and agriculture in particular.
The project is expected to last up to 5 years. Meantime, this week marked a momentous turn for the development of the agricultural sector in meeting the growing demands of the future. Ministry of Agriculture leaders, stakeholders representing the public and private sectors, and the Faculty Division of Agriculture of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College met for a 2-day consultation to review the training curriculum for agriculture students for the next academic year. Amanda Faye Clark reports.
The long-awaited initiative comes amidst calls to train tertiary-level students to an acceptable level where they can satisfy entry-level agriculture employment. Chairman of the Board of Governors of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, John Calix, says this engagement between partners began last year when the Ministry of Agriculture expressed concerns for the programming of the college's Division of Agriculture. It is envisaged, he further explains, this consultation and the program and training activities consequently developed and implemented will serve as a foundation for continued growth and development of the agriculture sector and adjacent sectors such as tourism, which rely heavily on the agriculture industry.
This engagement is important simply because you do need skilled professionals in the agriculture sector. And who best to provide those skills than the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, our homegrown college. Yes, we do get people who come back with degrees, but generally most of our staff, probably in the extension division, do graduate from Sir Arthur Lewis Community College with their either associate's degrees or diplomas or certificates. In the sector too, you have farmers who do also want to get training. So it is important that the college understands, what are the needs of the agriculture sector.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Barrymore Felicia, says his ministry is committed to developing a cadre of well-rounded agriculture professionals. And as such, the ministry is playing its part in overseeing the modification of the island's agriculture education, ensuring that it is innovative, responsive, and relevant to the complex and ever-changing work environment. Conditions, he insists, are critical to the effectiveness of all institutions that contribute to the agriculture sector.
To make the education system responsive requires developing and implementing curriculum and teaching programs that are relevant to the production needs and employment demands of the agricultural sector. The drivers for this reform are that graduates, we often hear graduates, are not meeting the expectation and needs of the labor market. Find that graduates, they are not finding employment. And there are stakeholders who report dissatisfaction with the performance of those graduates. So in essence, we are looking for quality professionals.
The Agriculture Ministry is looking forward to completing a template for an agriculture curriculum by the end of the consultation period that will provide students with skills to function effectively and ultimately will move the agriculture sector to a position of greater advantage. From the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Amanda Faye Clark reporting.
And this is the NTN Nightly. Ryan O'Brien is up next.
The world's climate is changing, and that affects all of us. Storms are becoming increasingly intense. Periods of intense drought and heavy rain stress farm animals and destroy our crops. Higher average ocean temperatures kill our coral reefs and change the migratory patterns of fish. St. Lucia contributes only 0.0015% of global greenhouse gas emissions, but is doing its part, along with countries around the world, to reduce the emissions that are warming our world and changing our climate. These efforts are called mitigation. But decades of emissions have already changed the climate, and the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere today will increase average global temperatures even more. We need to adapt, that is, do everything we can to prepare for and respond to the actual and expected negative effects of climate change, and everyone has a role to play. We need to protect our crops, build homes that withstand storms, and keep our drains and waterways free of garbage to help us recover or bounce back from climatic events. Learn more about the Government of St. Lucia's National Adaptation Plan and the steps you can take to protect yourself and your fellow St. Lucians.
Welcome back. We join Ryan O'Brien for the latest happenings in youth development and sport.
Welcome everyone to your update from Youth Development and Sports on the NTN Nightly News. I'm Ryan O'Brien. The General Assembly of the National Youth Council is scheduled to meet on August 10, 2019 to elect a new national executive. The deadline was extended for the submission of nominations to serve on the St. Lucia National Youth Council Executive. New deadline for nominations for the positions of President, First Vice President, Second Vice President, General Secretary, Assistant General Secretary, and Public Relations Officer was on Friday, July 26, 2019. The Ministry of Youth Development and Sports also takes this opportunity to offer condolences to the family of Dennis James and the sporting community in general, who passed away in the early hours of Friday, July 26. James was a former president of the St. Lucia National Cricket Association and the Manipur Youth and Sports Council. He was also a former sports coordinator of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS. He was an avid sportsman and stood out as a cricketer for Manipur and his club, Patience Youth Organization, PYO. Mr. James had a close association with the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, serving consistently as a judge for the annual National Sports Awards. St. Lucia's contingent to the Winter Island Schools Games 2019 left the island Friday for Dominica, where they will compete in the 2019 edition of the Games. The 62-member contingent will compete in track and field, basketball male and female, volleyball male and female, football and netball. Grenada are defending their title once more, and St. Lucia finished joint second place with St. Vincent and the Grenadines when the games were held here last year. The student athletes are being accompanied by 9 officials. It's the weekend, and that's your update from Youth Development and Sports on the NTN Nightly News. I'm Ryan O'Brien.
Thanks, Ryan. The Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations and Sustainable Development has been armed to ensure safer schools. Janelle Norville explains.
The Model Safe School Program, MSSP, is designed to assist participating states with the implementing processes that result in safer and greener educational facilities. Its toolkit comprises a policy that can be adopted by governments and ministries of education, tools for assessing the level of safety and greenness of schools, a template emergency disaster plan that can be adapted to school-specific situation, and hazard context. It also contains a list of tools and guidance documents that can be utilized to create safer and greener institutions. Project Coordinator for the implementation of the Model Safe School Program in the Caribbean, Kerry-Ann Thompson, explained that staff of the Ministry of Education were being trained in the use of an electronic application that facilitates the collection of data on the assessment of schools.
This particular training is a very small part of a broader project aimed at motivating countries to implement school safety. The Model Safe School Program in the Caribbean is currently being funded by the Caribbean Development Bank, and it's implemented by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency. We're targeting 6 countries in the region, including this country, St. Lucia, and we're basically providing a great deal of technical assistance in the development of safe schools policies. We're also providing assistance with the development of the Model Safe School Program toolkit, which will allow for the assessment of schools.
The Model Safe School Program is a hands-on learning experience where trainees undertake all stages of the assessment and reporting process, including the development of recommendation reports and action plans. The participation of schools providing a real-life setting is of vital importance so as to achieve the training's learning objectives. Participating schools are able to benefit from the training as using the safety standards and the application of the assessment tools provide the Ministry of Education and schools with a means of understanding the autonomy of the risk they face. Thompson noted that this enables them to make fact-based decisions on the design and implementation of programs to increase the resilience of schools.
Currently, we're training the ICT staff within the Ministry of Education. It's important that these persons are trained on it because they are currently the technically advanced persons within the ministry. It's essentially a training of trainers workshop. And basically, these persons will be able to train other persons later on. So when we have our training on the actual tools, then these ICT personnel will be able to train the trainees on how to use the application, which is the electronic app on the tablets.
The Model Safe School Program and Toolkit for the Caribbean was endorsed by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA Council, in 2015 as the vehicle through which the region would address school safety. School safety exists in a broader context of enhancing local, national and regional resilience through the mainstreaming of disaster risk management in the education sector. For the Government Information Service, I am Janelle Norville.
And stay with the NTN Nightly. Up next, Primus Hutchinson is here with the NTN Nouvelle en Créole.
La main propre, c'est chemin bonne santé. Il est absolument nécessaire pour laver la main si vous voulez une bonne santé. Quand même, si vous prenez glossitaine, ou ça fait ces bagailles ça là. Écoutez, lavez la main souvent et puis glonette avec savon, après condition qui a 6 mains vermine. Par exemple, on pour laver la main après vous changer d'arrière-part, servir très vite. Occuper les gens qui sont blessés et bien malades. Après occuper les animaux et après vous entamer les ordis. Et si vous prenez l'eau, vous ça servir ça yo kakouye hand sanitizer et bien alcool pour 30 secondes. Lavez les mains souvent. Ça, c'est une manière pour empêcher maladie. Si vous voulez plus d'informations, priez Bureau Information Santé à numéro 468-5349.
Welcome back. We join Primus Hutchinson for the NTN Nouvelle en Créole.
Monsieur, Madame, département qui est responsabilité pour information au gouvernement Saint-Lucie, GIS, à ce télévision NTN, qu'a présenté une nouvelle en Créole. Présenté Primus Hutchinson. Département des secteurs publics qu'a noté qui gagne négociation au gouvernement, j'ai entré en bout de négociation et puis c'est union et syndicat des secteurs publics et aussi association les travailleurs concernant salaire et thème et conditions de travail. Mais agrément pour période commencé le 1er avril 2016 pour 31 mars 2010, c'est 2019, et 1er avril 2019 pour 31 mars 2022, ni pour trouver finalisé finalement. Malgré ça, final agrément concernant les négociations ça là, en bas préparation toujours, et qu'il recevait un dernier coup de zier par tous les partisans avant officiel CAT a fait. Le gouvernement cette là-ci, j'ai d'accord à la bonne foi pour faire un seul paiement de $1 800 paiement salaire à couvert salaire et l'autre façon de paiement en bas agrément de négociations et puis fédération les syndicats à cette ci est qu'a fait un salaire pour mois juillet 2019. Le gouvernement a qui est très satisfait et puis par son négociation manière marché et aussi manière adresser tous ces sujets qui étaient concernés ces syndicats et à présent garder pour finaliser l'agrément ça plus vite que possible pour bailler toute autorisation pour implémentation en plein pour toutes ces provisions et bénéfices pour les officiers publics. C'est un espoir pour faire une grande présentation en festin Carry Festa 14 l'année ça. Pays cette ci qui a vu 80 individus participer et puis un mélange de théâtre, musique, littérature, poésie, danse traditionnelle, modèle, en parmi plusieurs autres. Présentation, Fondation de développement culturel déclaré qui, dans les salles, ces participants qui comprennent très bien ça feste ça là, qui a représenté. Directeur artistique pour gagner cette lycéen dans Feste Carry Festa, Drainier Fredericks dit qui, cette lycée qui a continué à faire contribution, qui a apporté bon succès pour créer des cultures et performances des artistiques en diverses façons pour rejoindre. Selon Fredericks, l'année présentement, il y a une nouvelle révolution en présentation folklore. Pour les autres, c'est aussi qui a approché festin et puis un mélange artistique qui a embrassé tout talent en ligne. Côté Nio qui plus expérimenté avec les plus jeunes pour montrer contribution des nouvelles générations cette lycée. Présentation cette lycée pour l'année ça qui a la Rose Masquerade et ça Patrick Couye une petite histoire de folklorique. En anglais on dit ça little folk tale. Frederick déclare que c'est ni pour montrer la terre recherche naturelle. Selon Frederick, c'est pas jamais montré présentation la rose, présentation jab en feste Carry Festa avant. Alors, il a quoi? C'est faux la terre comprendre c'est ni plus que ça il était habitué ouais avant. Le directeur artistique là déclaré que il était mené ces jeunes là belle vive fort pour expériencer séance pour première fois. Et c'était aussi la première fois que j'ai visité Belleville et qui était très plein pour une manière d'embrasser l'expérience nouveau ça là. Patrick oui merci tout qui fait contribution, particulièrement au gouvernement, et le ministre qui a responsabilité pour la culture et l'industrie de créativité, sénateur honorable Fortuna Belrose. Carry Festa 14, qui a pris coup à pays Trinidad et Tobago, le 16 ou le 25 août 2019. Festin Root Sexual, c'est une dédication pour les musiciens qui ont développé un route nouveau en reggae. Ça a créé conscious hip-hop, afro-punk et R&B. C'est ça là qui a une leçon et c'est artiste là qui a construit et puis l'autre Greg en industrie musique là. Là qui a un mélange des musiciens hors de cette-ci avec les artistes internationaux. Et que parmi ces musiciens internationaux là qui ont participé et qui fait contribution, c'est un Mapipi en musique reggae, Tyrus Riley, groupe reggae international UB40, qui est là, Sherwin Dukes, Bryce, Hot Setley, qui est aussi là, chef pour Events Company de Setley, Agnes Francis, explique qu'il est bien satisfait. Et puis de Goué la théorie, Festin Root Sexual, qui a ajouté Agnes Francis, remarque que toutes les années, yo ka essayer pour catcher en qui meilleure façon trouver les plus meilleurs artistes. Il dit que ça yo fait, c'était pour demander les patrons qui te ka quitté après spectacle là, qui trois artistes yo te ka plus ciblé et à vous de performer. Et que majorité ces patrons si jouer UB40. Francis remarque que c'est suggestion ça là, les patrons aider autant pour faire ces sélections les artistes. Il dit aussi yo ka considérer pour placer un prix qui va soulager toutes les patrons. L'autre section qui a commencé le 23 août à ce rempla Rodébé et qui a continué samedi le 24 pour dimanche le 25 côté plus gros spectacle qui a percouru à Pigeon Island National Landmark. Et c'est comme ça nous trouvons votre nouvelle là, messieurs et mesdames. Donc, monsieur, autant pour garder, on va avoir une invitation pour je ne peux moi considérer conserver la ville et pour cette autre nouvelle en créole. Je vous souhaite tout une bonne fin de semaine et que vous pour ça tout Lucia.
Messi Opil Primus. And here's a look at what's happening to us weather-wise.
Fair, hazy and breezy with a few cloudy periods and some scattered showers. Moisture and instability in the lower atmosphere will produce a few showery periods around the eastern Caribbean islands during the next 24 hours. A tropical wave located over the central tropical Atlantic is moving westward at about 23 miles per hour or 37 kilometers per hour. This wave is expected to bring cloudy conditions with moderate to heavy showers and isolated thunderstorms over the eastern Caribbean region from late Saturday into Sunday. Another two tropical waves located over the eastern and far eastern tropical Atlantic are moving westward near 21 miles per hour or 33 kilometers per hour. Tropical cyclone formation is not expected over the tropical Atlantic during the next 5 days. The tide for Castries Harbour was low at 4:05 p.m. and will be high again at 10:49 p.m. The tide for Vieux-Fort Bay, high at 12:27 p.m. and low at present. The sea is moderate to locally rough with waves 4 to 7 feet or 1.2 to 2.1 meters. Small craft operators and sea bathers are advised to exercise caution due to brisk winds and above normal seas. The sun will rise Saturday at 5:46 a.m.
And that brings us to the end of the NTN Nightly. Join us next time at 7 p.m. with a repeat at 7 a.m. You can also catch up with us anytime on the St. Lucia Government Facebook page or YouTube channel. I'm Nisha Charles.